This is Maya. In about 20 minutes, she's going to find out that the broke guy she's been giving free coffee to for weeks is actually an $11 billion CEO. And that's honestly not even the wildest part of this story. Stick around because by the end, almost every single person who wronged her is going to lose everything. And she's going to end up owning the place that used to barely pay her enough to survive. But let's back up because none of that happens if this one morning doesn't happen first.
Okay, same as yesterday.
It's 4:45 a.m., and Maya's alarm goes off in a tiny apartment that's seen better days. She doesn't hit snooze, she never does. Same routine, every single day. She's up before the sun, moving quietly so she doesn't wake her mom, Grace, who's asleep in the next room recovering from a stroke. Before Maya even thinks about herself, she's setting out a glass of water and sorting pills into a little organizer, leaving a note on the counter just in case. That's just who she is. Somebody else's needs come before her own, every time, without her even really noticing she's doing it. On her way out the door, she's on the phone with the electric company, practically begging for 3 more days before they shut the power off. 3 days, that's it. That's all she's asking for. And when she calls her sister Denise hoping for a little help with rent, Denise wants to help, genuinely does, but she's barely covering her own bills. Everybody around Maya is drowning a little, which means nobody's got a hand free to pull her up. She hangs up, tucks it all away, and heads to work, because that's what she does. She tucks things away and keeps moving. Work is Rosie's Diner, a worn-down little spot with cracked vinyl booths and a chalkboard menu that's been rewritten so many times you can barely read the original handwriting underneath. Maya's spent more hours here than she'd probably like to admit. She gets there before 6, wipes down the counter, gets the coffee going, and braces herself for Diane. Diane is the manager, and Diane runs this diner like it personally owes her something. She's the type to dock somebody's pay over a receipt mix-up and call it discipline. This particular morning, she's got a crumpled receipt in her hand, and she's holding it about 2 inches from Maya's face, accusing her of undercharging a table. For the 3rd time this month, apparently, though Maya's pretty sure that math is wrong too. "Do you want this job or not?" Diane says. And that's the end of the conversation, because when you need this job, you don't actually get to argue. Not everyone here is terrible, to be fair. There's a regular, an older guy, who always tips her extra and tells her she's the only one who remembers he likes his eggs a little burnt. Small kindness, but it matters more than he probably realizes. Then there's Rachel, sweet smiling, always calling Maya hun, always somehow finding a reason to be near the tip jar, right before a chunk of cash mysteriously goes missing from it. Rachel's stealing from her, quietly, consistently, and doing it with the kind of smile that makes it impossible to prove. It's honestly kind of impressive, in the worst way. Lunch rush hits, and Maya's running the whole floor solo while Diane watches from behind the register with her arms crossed instead of helping. By the time Maya gets home that evening, exhausted, she finds a notice taped to her apartment door. Her landlord, Mr. Whitfield, has been by. Final notice: pay by Friday or vacate, no exceptions. Landlord's landlord, whatever that means to him. She hasn't even taken her coat off yet, and her day is already ending like this. But then there's dinner. Maya sits with her mom, carefully feeding her, patient and gentle. And Grace tells her she didn't have to skip her own meal for this. Maya just smiles and says you never skip a meal that keeps you strong. This quiet moment, just the two of them, is the one thing that makes everything else worth carrying. Later, alone at the kitchen table, Maya spreads out the medical bills and the eviction notice and tries to make the numbers work. They don't. They never quite do. And that night, sitting on the edge of the bathtub in her uniform, phone glowing in the dark, she lets herself cry just for a minute in the one place nobody from that diner will ever see her do it. Now across town, there's a very different life happening. Meet Adrian Cole, CEO, Billionaire, currently sitting at the head of a glass-walled boardroom, completely checked out of his own meeting, while a guy named Marcus tries to get his attention. Something's clearly going on with Adrian, and we're about to find out exactly what. His mother, Eleanor, is a woman who runs their family like she runs a merger, precisely, coldly, with appearances always coming first. She's already planning his wedding to a woman named Vanessa, and Adrian's actual opinion on any of it hasn't really been part of the conversation. One evening, walking past a room he's not supposed to be listening outside of, Adrian overhears Eleanor telling Vanessa to at least try to look like she's in love for the sake of the merger. And Vanessa, without missing a beat, says the quiet part out loud. She's marrying the company, not him. and she never pretended otherwise. Adrian just stands there in the hallway, hearing every word, and something in him quietly breaks. He visits his father's grave that night, alone, and says something about how his dad always told him money makes people easy to read, and how he's finally starting to believe it. That's the moment everything shifts. Back in his office, late, jacket off, staring at his own reflection in a dark window, he makes a call. Cancel the calendar for 30 days. Tell the board it's a personal matter. Tell no one where he's going, not even his mother. Then he packs a duffel bag with plain clothes instead of his usual tailored suits, sets his watch and phone down on the dresser, and walks out into a city that has absolutely no idea who he is. And that first night on his own, genuinely terrifying, even knowing it's temporary. He tries to pick up day work at a hardware store and gets turned away. No experience, no references, no dice. Try somewhere else. Turns out an $11 billion resume means nothing when you can't actually prove any of it. Disoriented, a little lost under a flickering street lamp, he ends up outside a small corner diner at dawn. Rosie's Diner, the one that's about to change absolutely everything for him. He hesitates at the door for a solid 10 minutes before Maya finally calls him out on it. "You want a coffee or not?" He tells her he doesn't have any money. She asks if she asked him for any. And just like that, for the first time in 10 years, somebody hands Adrian Cole something without wanting a single thing back. He keeps coming back. They talk in a booth with 2 chipped coffee cups between them, and when he asks why she keeps doing this for a total stranger, she tells him somebody did it for her mom once, and it changed her whole life. So now it's her turn to pass it on. He notices a wobbly table leg and quietly fixes it without being asked. Small thing, but she notices nobody fixes anything without being asked anymore. Not in her experience. Within days, he's got a regular spot, a chipped mug waiting for him without needing to order. This never once happened when he was Adrian Cole, CEO of a company worth more than some small countries. It's happening now because, for the first time in a long time, nobody around him has any reason to be fake. One evening, he shows up at her apartment with a small bag of groceries, having remembered offhand that she mentioned the pharmacy raised her mother's medication prices. He's supposedly broke right now, and he's still finding ways to show up for her. He ends up playing checkers with Grace at her bedside, letting her win, or at least pretending to, and Grace teases him about it with a weak little laugh. Even her mom is warming up to him. It's kind of adorable, honestly. But Diane doesn't ease up. One shift, she literally snatches Maya's phone out of her hand mid-call, the home health aide calling about Grace, and tells her personal calls end now. She doesn't care whose aide it is. Adrian watches this happen from a nearby booth, jaw tightening, and later catches Diane alone near the storeroom to tell her, calmly but firmly, that Maya works harder than anyone in that building, and her mother's health can't wait for Diane's schedule. Diane just scoffs. "And who exactly do you think you are?" She has absolutely no idea who he actually is. None. Zero clue. That night, sitting together on the diner's back steps with 2 paper cups of coffee, Adrian asks Maya why she stays somewhere that treats her like that. And she tells him, because somewhere that treats her badly and pays on time still beats somewhere that treats her well and doesn't. But her mother deserves care, better waits. It's one line, but it's basically her entire life summed up in a sentence. Meanwhile, back in Adrian's actual world, things are unraveling fast. Marcus has noticed the CEO's been missing for weeks, and he's not wasting the opportunity. Quietly drafting an emergency leadership transition proposal with a couple of lawyers, timing it so that if Adrian doesn't resurface before the merger vote, the board won't have a choice but to replace him. And Vanessa, annoyed that her fiancé keeps disappearing at night, hires a private investigator to find out where he's been going. What comes back is a grainy photo of Adrian laughing with some woman outside a diner. Vanessa's face goes from confused to furious in about 2 seconds. She calls Marcus immediately. "I found something you're going to want to see." And the 2 of them, sitting across from each other with that photo on the table, decide to make their move together. "There's a gala Friday night. Let's make sure everyone's watching when it happens," Marcus says. "Now you're speaking my language," Vanessa answers. Guess which night Adrian decides to invite Maya to an event. He asks her to come with him Friday, and Maya panics a little. She doesn't own anything close to gala appropriate. A neighbor lends her a simple navy dress she wore to her own daughter's wedding. And right before Maya leaves, Grace, sitting up in her wheelchair, hands her daughter a small vintage pearl brooch. Your father gave me this the night we couldn't afford a real date either, she says. It's a genuinely sweet moment. Just wait, though. Maya arrives at the gala standing out plainly among all the designer gowns, checking a text from Adrian that says he'll find her inside. And he does, crossing the room the second he spots her, taking her hand, telling her she came. She jokes that someone should show up who actually likes him. It's sweet. It's also the exact moment Vanessa and Marcus have been waiting for. Vanessa approaches with a full glass of red wine and a razor-sharp smile, making a comment about the little waitress everyone's apparently been whispering about. Careful with that dress, sweetheart. It costs more than you'll make this year. And then, in front of a small crowd and several very interested photographers, the wine goes everywhere, all over the front of Maya's borrowed dress. A diner waitress playing dress-up at a real gala, Vanessa says, all faux innocence. How adorable. That was not an accident. Everyone in that room knows it. This is, officially, the worst night of Maya's life. And for a second, it looks like it's about to get worse. Cameras closing in, guests whispering, phones raised to film every second of it. Then Adrian pushes through the crowd, pulls off his own jacket to offer it to her, and every single camera in the building swings toward him instead. Maya just looks at him and asks if he knew this would happen if she came. He doesn't really have an answer for that. She leaves alone, walking through the rain, heels dangling from one hand, mascara streaked down her face, 12 missed calls from Adrian lighting up her phone that she just keeps declining. Fair, honestly. By the next morning, the video's already at 2.3 million views, and Diane's practically gleeful about it, holding her phone up like a trophy. Everyone's seen it. You're a laughingstock. Don't expect sympathy from me. Even Rachel, who's literally been stealing from Maya this whole time, is whispering behind her back about how she'll probably be fired next. Rough Week doesn't really cover it. But that night, sitting quietly beside her mother's bed, Grace just reaches over and takes her daughter's hand. No words needed there. Some comfort doesn't need a script. And this is where things start turning. Adrian, done being quiet about any of it, sets up in a private investigator's office with a corkboard behind him. Diane, Rachel, Whitfield, Vanessa, Marcus, all connected with red string, every single receipt collected and documented. Every one of them, he says. I want it all. Diane gets called into the back office to face a spreadsheet titled 6 years of payroll discrepancies. You can't prove, she starts. I own the building, he answers. I already have. She's escorted out through the front entrance with a small box of her things and not so much as a goodbye. Rachel gets shown time-stamped security footage of her hand in that tip jar, over and over 6 years worth. Her fake smile finally cracks. She walks out alone, leaving her name tag behind on the counter, unable to look anyone in the eye on the way out. Whitfield gets handed an official deed with his own building's address on it, and the realization that the tenant he threatened is now his boss hits him like a truck. Maya's rent gets frozen for 2 years, and the old eviction notice comes down off her door for good. Vanessa's turn comes at a press conference, reporters shouting questions about whether she really humiliated a diner waitress at a private event, her composure cracking in real time under the flashing cameras, while her phone buzzes nonstop with cancellations and terminated sponsorships. The internet that laughed at Maya has found a brand new target, and it is not being kind. Eleanor, watching the whole meltdown unfold on television, has a change of heart nobody saw coming. She ends Vanessa's engagement herself. The Cole name survives scandal, she tells her. It does not survive cruelty. Marcus gets confronted in the boardroom with evidence of falsified merger documents, escorted out by security minutes later, his badge deactivated before he even makes it to the lobby doors. Every single person who wronged her, gone. Back at home, Maya opens a certified letter with an official letterhead announcing her rent is frozen at $0 for the next 24 months. She has no idea it's coming, and watching her face read it is honestly the whole point of the past 30 days. Grace asks softly if it's a good letter or one of the bad ones. That's the best letter we've ever gotten, Mama, Maya says, laughing through actual tears. That evening, Adrian shows up outside the diner again, wearing the exact same worn gray hoodie he's worn every single day since this all started, holding 2 coffee cups. No suit, no cameras, just him. Maya steps into the doorway to face him under the diner's half-lit neon sign, and he tells her, no board, no mother, no fiancé, just me, if you'll still have me. She asks if he has any idea how much he humiliated her. Every day since, he says, I fixed what I could. I can't fix that night. And then she tells him something he genuinely does not see coming. She knew. She looked him up the second week, recognized his eyes from a magazine cover in her mother's doctor's waiting room. She let him have his 30 days anyway, because she figured a man that lonely deserved to find out who he really was without an audience watching. He just stares at her. You knew? This whole time? She did. And honestly, massive respect for that. Later, Adrian formally meets Grace, kneeling beside her wheelchair to shake her hand, while Maya watches from the doorway with the softest smile. "So you're the one who's had my daughter smiling again?" Grace says. He tells her he's hoping to keep it that way. "Good answer," she says, with a weak little laugh. The weeks after that reunion turned into months, and somewhere along the way, whatever this was between them stopped needing a label. They took slow walks together after her shifts. He learned to make Grace's favorite tea exactly the way she liked it, following a handwritten recipe card like it was the most important assignment he'd ever had. And one evening, on those same cracked back steps where all of this really started, Adrian got down on one knee with a plain, simple ring. Nothing like anything from his old life. Exactly the kind of thing a broke stranger might have spent months saving up for. Maya said yes before he even finished asking. They got married not long after, right there behind Rosie's diner. The same string lights were strung overhead. Folding chairs got borrowed from half the neighborhood. And Grace, sitting up on her own now, stronger than she'd been in over a year, watched her daughter walk down a makeshift aisle in a simple ivory dress, holding a small bouquet of wildflowers somebody's garden had donated for the occasion. No press, no board members, no fortune on display anywhere. Just the handful of people who'd actually shown up for each other when it counted, clapping quietly as Adrian took Maya's hand under a modest little floral archway and kissed his wife for the first time. A few months after the wedding, Rosie's Diner has a brand new hand-painted sign out front. Same name, new owner, Maya Bennett. Adrian didn't just fix her problems. He signed the whole place over to her, completely, no strings attached. She's behind the counter now, smiling, running a diner full of staff who actually respect her, while Adrian sits at the counter in his old familiar spot, and Grace, much stronger now, much healthier, sips tea in a booth nearby, watching the two of them with quiet satisfaction. "You ever regret giving a broke stranger a free coffee?" he asks her. "Every single day," she says. "Best mistake I ever made." And that's the story. One free coffee, one entire life changed for both of them. Nobody at that diner would have guessed, watching her wipe down that same counter every single morning at 6 a.m., that any of this was coming. That's kind of the whole point, though. You genuinely never know which stranger walking through the door is about to flip your entire world upside down, for better or for worse. In Maya's case, it turned out to be for the better, even after everything it cost her to get there. See you in the next one.